This is Steve G and Mad G with Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about what happened in the 90s. So get out your Cordell Stewart jerseys and your Best of John Stewart tapes, because lucky we're some 90s guys. Lucky we're some men who positively can do all the things that make us laugh and cry. We're some 90s guys. Today, my friend, we're talking all things December 26th in the 90s. Starting off in 1991, Simpsons is airing season 3, episode 11, I Married Marge. In a flashback, we see Homer attempt to land a job at the Springfield Nuclear Power Plant. Hilarity ensues.
This is it, Steve. This is where it all started. You know, this is where the Simpsons became a family, basically. So this is the prequel to everything we've seen for 40 years.
Yeah, it's pretty much, man.
Jesus. We still get all this. The intro's always great. We get Bart's chalkboard. That this one's a little scary. I will not torment the emotionally frail. That's getting a little sociopathic here, Bart. Take him to go see Dr. Hibbert. Get some pills. You know, the end, they always have something different. In this one, they all cartwheel. The Simpsons all cartwheel onto the couch and sort of like jazz hands it. Very Family Guy-esque, I'd say, you know?
Now we're in the Simpsons' home, and Marge is taking a home pregnancy test. Might be another bun in the oven.
Uh-oh. They got 3. I mean, Homer, wrap it up, dude. I mean, his pullout game is not working, Steve.
And she decides to go visit Dr. Hibbert. And they're like, why is mom going to the doctor? Yeah, she's fine. She just broke her leg.
She was walking. Yeah, whatever. And Lisa's like, wait, is she having another baby? Is she going? I mean, which I wouldn't go to that immediately, but Lisa's on it, Steve. She's got feminine intuition, I guess.
And she's a genius, a wonder kid, if you will.
But not Das Wunderkind. That's Alex Wright. Shout out. So the cat's out of the bag, but Homer's like, you know what? Circle round, kids. Hop on over here. Let me tell you about when we had Bart, basically. The 80s. You know, Homer's got a dope ride, Steve. That thing is sick as hell, honestly.
1980 in Springfield. That's where he takes us, man. And this is a teenage Homer, fresh off the porch. And his first job is working the putt-putt windmills.
Damn. And it's like Conan style where he's just manning the wheels, Steve. And his boss is on his ass. You're doing it too fast, Simpson. I mean, gee, Homer's just not killing it at the pitch and putt. But he's working, Steve. He's trying. He's got to do something to get these hot babes in Springfield.
Yeah, and he's not killing it with this storytelling, because halfway through, he sees the kids are outside already playing croquet. Like, fuck this shit. So Maggie. She's a baby. She can't go anywhere. It's like, all right, I'm going to continue telling you this story. So your mom, she was living with her 2 wicked sisters. And we cut to Marge's home, and she's got a date with a Homer. And the sisters are just like, I don't know what you see in that hairy meatball. If you want something fat and hairy, we could just get a cat.
Yeah, Patty and Selma never liked Homer. We see Marge's mom, Miss Bouvier. She's surly as well. You can see where everyone got their attitude. But Marge is like, shut up, y'all. And she might want to just get a mask on or something, because she's definitely going to have some lung issues because all that secondhand. She's basically just in one of those airport rooms that they have. But she's going out on her date with Homer, you know, comes up in that cool ride. They go, I think, see Empire Strikes Back, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You know, afterwards, they leave. Homer immediately ruins the movie for everybody waiting in line for it by telling them that, you know, Darth Vader's Luke's father. No, which I'm sure happened, but luckily he doesn't get his ass whooped because him and Marge swap a little tongue. You know,
and he throws some Star Wars nerd game at her. You're as pretty as Princess Leia and as smart as Yoda.
Yeah, dude, but that works.
It got the
He's
job
got
done.
he's got Riz, Steve, and Marge sees that. They make out, they share a kiss, and on the drive home, it's just all love. You know, they're holding hands, they're singing some weird song that I can't remember the words to, but neither can Homer. He's trying.
Homer, I don't know if it's the shampoo, but you're looking really handsome.
Oh, must be the Champel talking.
Yeah, and again that sweet ride, Steve. So instead of taking her back to Chez Bouvier, they go over to the pitch and putt because Homer's got the keys. They gets to banging in one of the, I think, in the windmills, Steve.
In the castle, yeah. At
It's
the Putt Putt
crazy.
Castle,
It's
yeah.
kind of romantic though, you know. Except there's a guy playing pitch and putt.
Make sure it doesn't go into the wrong hole.
Where'd my ball go?
Do you want to know? Homer is roommates with Barney at this time,
Oh.
and yeah, they're living that, I don't know, bachelor life, I guess, man.
Yeah, dude. They're living. I mean, it's definitely check to check. One of them works at a fucking mini golf place, and Barney, maybe he's getting a government check, Steve. That's the most we can hope for at this point.
Yeah, I think he's on the spectrum. And
Yeah.
like while they're watching TV, Marge calls and she's like, I need you to take me to the doctor. And so they go to the doctor, and it's a young Dr. Hibbert with a fro around this time. And he's like, I think we found the reason you've been throwing up in the morning.
Oh, and all Homer can say is dough, which this might be the first one, Steve. This might be
Is
the
it?
first dough, honestly. You don't know that.
It could be.
But I will say, Dr. Hibbert, he looks cool as shit, honestly. What happened?
I mean, age.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
But he would definitely been on Soul Train in Springfield, Steve. He's looking cool. And he's got a doctor's salary, so you know he's going around Springfield just slanging.
slanging that thing.
Yeah. So now they're pregnant, Steve. Homer, Marge, they got a bun in the oven. They're sitting at like a lover's lane thing that's overlooking Springfield. And Homer's like, I think he's looking for something, like a card that he wanted to give her, and she
Yeah.
finds it. And it's a card to basically propose to her, Steve.
Yeah, this is worse than Martin's first proposal to Gina. I will marry you, damn.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are
like,
you happy now? Yeah, it's right up there, but Marge loves it. I mean, it's on a card, Steve. So I think it was just more like he just needed to see the words to say the words. You know, he didn't want to like fumble the ball. But
that's fair.
Marge is into it, and she says yes, of course. I mean, we know what's going to happen here, but they're in love, you know. But now we got to cut back to now, and the kids are asking about names. And Homer's like, "Oh, names. Let me tell you about picking out names." So we cut back, and now we're a little bit further in the past. They're in a jewelry store, and Homer has all these big dreams. He wants to buy her this nice ring. He wants to buy all these things for the baby to provide for Marge, which is great. And he might want to slow down, but Margin is trying to like think of names. They don't know what sex the baby is. So she's like, maybe Larry would be a good name. And he's like, well, then all the kids are going to call him Larry the Fairy. Like, we can't do that. Well, what about Louie? Screwy Louie? So there's all these names, Steve. And this is what I would do if I had a kid. You gotta outsmart the bullies. You gotta find something that's pretty like for me, I was fat. And I didn't know Matt, fat. It just doesn't,
That wasn't fair.
you just can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So, Bob, Blob, come on, Marge. What the fuck are you thinking?
Stever the
Lucas?
Beaver?
Lucas? What about, they're going to call him Mucus. I mean, so Homer, he might be a buffoon, but he's thinking ahead. He's doing a little bit of forward thinking here. But then we cut to the big day, which is actually just at like basically a little, it's called Shotgun Pete. So it's like a Las Vegas like place, not Vegas. There's no frills. There's stains on the ceiling. There's some old like wretched woman playing a Casio rap man to give you some music to walk down the aisle to. And after about a 2-minute ceremony, because they showed the clock going, they're man and wife, Steve. They're married in the eyes of the state gaming commission, at least.
And they basically move into Marge's family's house. And, Homer hates this.
Yeah, dude. he's got to get out. But I mean, Marge is like brings up the fact like, how are you going to provide like this mini golf thing is nice. This is a nice thing for you, but I don't think we're going to be able to buy a house on mini golf money. So let's think about the future here. So he looks out a window and he sees this glowing, almost green aura around the power plant. Is it his future? Is it fate showing you that, or is it the radioactive waste there? Who knows? But it's opportunities, Steve. There's money there. There's money in them there hills.
Hey, and Homer is knocking at it, man. So he's sitting at the interview, and there are two other candidates. Smithers, we find out his first name for the first time, Waylon. He comes out the door and he's like, "We only have two openings." Unfortunately, one of those candidates is his old frat bro.
Yeah, and they start doing the shake. They're like, "Oh, remember little Billy, dude? With the pickle in the ass? It's in the bag, Steve." So Homer's sitting there like, well, shit, you know? Also, he's just not really doing well. You know what I'm saying? Like, the questions come up, he's not really got a lot of answers. In fact, one of them, Smithers is like, "So what would happen if the reactor overheated?" And Homer like is like, "Oh, wait, what? It's overheating," and just runs out the building, Steve.
Yeah, and it didn't help that the other guy, he was in the same fraternity, but from the Alabama chapter.
Brother, they do the whole dance and whatever, but it's not looking good for Homer. In fact, to be honest with you, Steve, he should just left. He should have left when he ran out there. It was just going to be disappointment. So now Homer, he's out of job. He didn't get that job, so he's got to find something. So now we're going to see a little montage of just those other career paths that he took. Which the first one's like at some sort of like Revolutionary War museum that you walk around.
Ye old candle maker.
Yeah, and he's the candle maker, but when he pulls the candle, I mean, it's just the Klimt, Steve. It's a whole schmutz. It's not a candle.
Splooge. His next try is at Slashco, which is a parody of Cutco. I actually tried my hand at Cutco in
It
college.
didn't work.
I didn't get the call back. You know,
What?
you attend a seminar and they're supposed to call you back, and the mofo never called me back. But it's for the better.
Yeah, I think you're all right, Steve. I don't know if you would have been, selling a lot of knives, but hey, shame on them. It's their loss, Shame on them, Cutco. But
He stabs the old lady.
he's like, they're so sharp you can't shake hands with them, and then proceeds to let her shake hands with it just to prove it. So she's out God knows how many digits, Steve, if that thing's sharp. Jesus Christ.
And his next job is the pitiless pup attack dog school.
Yeah. And I mean, the money's good, but damn, he's going to lose something if he keeps it up. So then he moves on to just like one of these get rich quick seminars. And the guy assures him right at the beginning, he's like, this isn't like one of those pyramid schemes that you guys have been thinking about. This is a trapezoidal plan. So it's not that. It's different shape. Everybody's winning. And then he hears like police sirens and just jumps out the window, Steve, because it's Fugazi. You can't be doing it.
And that's something we were a part of or about to be a part of in college. Remember that?
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, we even told dude, this sounds like a pyramid scheme. And I mean, shout out to a guy. I like when you think how creepy that was, Steve, just side note to all this. We get brought by a guy we were in the dorms with. I'm not going to use names. It was 2 letters of the alphabet, let's say. And he tells us about this wonderful opportunity, the sales pitch, if you will, that all pyramid schemes start with. It sounds great. Then he's like, "Yeah, let's go to this meeting." So in my head, first I was like, "This is bullshit," but we had to go, Steve. We were broke, and dude had some money. And we get brought to a pretty nice apartment in Toledo, if I'm not mistaken.
It was like a loft. Yeah.
Yeah, and it seemed cool. But like what was going on, Steve? Do you think those were the top guys that were just like the schemesters that were running the whole thing?
Well, I mean, somebody is making money in these pyramid schemes. Somebody is getting money. It might not be you, but like somebody's getting it, and he might have been one of the guys getting the money.
He had a
Now,
loft in Toledo, Steve. I mean, that's baller status. Baller alert.
yeah.
I was impressed, but I walked away from that and later in life still thinking about it, being like, were we almost like raped or robbed, or was it just
Whoa.
like, I don't know. It just seemed nefarious that these old dudes would have like these college guys bringing dudes to them. And I know it's a pyramid scheme, so it's a ripoff anyway, but it just like seemed bizarre. Like, I saved us, to be honest, Steve. I wasn't the most handsome. So if two like beefcakes walked in, we might have been drugged. I don't know. I think I saved us. I saved our sweet virgin ass, man.
Well, thank you.
But back to pyramid schemes, Steve, or trapezoidal schemes. It didn't work out. The guy's in jail. Homer has no job opportunities. And now all of his shit is getting repossessed. Everything he's bought, even the fucking ring, Steve. The ring. That's got to be a kick in the dick.
All of the baby gifts, bills are adding up, man. And Homer, he's just fed up. So he leaves Marge when she's asleep. He leaves her like a Dear John kind of letter. Like, I'm sorry, I've been a failure, and your family, I can tell they don't want me here. After he writes that, you hear Selma say, shut up with that loud pin scratching.
I mean, he needs to get out. That's a bad sitch. He does. He vacates, Steve. He writes a Dear Marge letter. Possibly it will become a sitcom sometime in the future. And then we cut back to now, which, now she's in tears. She's like, that's so sad. And Homer's like, yeah, but you guys are here, so you don't need to cry about this. It's all good. It's fine. I become a responsible father. So things can change, Lisa. I'm a responsible dad now. So look what happens. And then Bart walks in and just asks if they can have like a can of cake icing for dinner. And he's like, yeah, fine, that's fine. So
Yeah, sure.
responsible, I don't know, Steve. We'll see. TBD on that.
And we cut back to the past, and Marge, she's crying reading this letter. And, her tears like permeate into the letter, smearing the words. But Patty and Selma, they go to the Gulp and Blow, and they notice that Homer's working there. That's the job that he, landed upon. And cutting back to Marge, we see that Homer's at least making enough to send her some money, but he's still ashamed of himself. He feels like he can't show his face around the Bouviers right now. He's just trying to, be a man on his own.
Hell yeah. Good job, Homer. I do like how Patty and Selma figure out Homer's working at that place because now his hair's starting to fall out and they're like, God, there's hair in my food. And they look over and it's just Homer like sucking at life. He's a good guy, Steve. The guy's sending money like he's fucking in prison or some shit. Like he's doing his best. Patty and Selma end up telling Marge that they saw Homer at this restaurant. So she shows up and she's like, I don't care. I just want you back in my life. I don't care if you're a loser. She doesn't say that, but she's like, I just want you back here.
Because she pulls up to the speaker and he's just like, what do you want?
My husband back by my side.
You want fries with that?
And, he's like, I can't come back yet, though. Like, I'm just a trainee here. Like, I can't even fry a late yet. I can't give you a ring. I can't do anything. I can't afford shit. She's like, I don't care if you can't afford a ring. It doesn't matter. Like, whatever ring you can afford is fine. So he looks around, and this is pretty sweet, Steve. He throws an onion ring on that finger.
Yeah.
And she loves it. It's a sweet gesture, but eventually she's like, can I take off the ring? Because the oil's starting to burn my skin.
And she asks him, do you know why I married you? Because I knocked you up?
No, Homer, because I love you.
So now he knows what he needs to do. He needs to get back with his woman, and he's on a mission. He takes off his uniform, and underneath is a I Shot JR shirt.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Dallas. But Homer gets some moxie. He gets some nuts, Steve. And he grabs those big old nuts and walks right into Mr. Burns' office at the power plant. And he says, look, I'm here. I was here a few days ago. Whatever shit sandwich you want to feed to me, I will eat with a smile. I will change. I will do whatever you want me to. I'll kill a guy. I just need a job. And Mr. Burns is like, And Smithers says something about him like not passing some. What does he say?
He failed the test, and on his way out, he got trapped in the closet.
Yeah, he got trapped in the broom closet. But Burns is like, you know what? I like your moxie, kid. You got the gig. It's one of those. It doesn't make any sense. You got the gig. So then Homer, because of this, I mean, he's just riding high. He's riding a wave right now of success. He goes to the hospital because
Yeah.
Marge is in labor. Bouvier's are there, and they're just throwing sauce at him, sass, being just a whole bunch of shenanigans. He just finally mans up and is like, listen, I'm the man. I'm paying for this. If you want to be here, shut the fuck up. Respect this.
You go, Homer.
Yeah, dude. And this, I mean, I think everybody wants one of these moments in life. So shout out. He got one of those tasty moments, Steve.
Puts
Just
his
a
foot
nice,
down.
just a nice, delicious fuck you moment that we all want.
And he lets Marge know, tomorrow I'm going to be a nuclear technician.
Oh, you got the job?
Yeah, and then I'll be house hunting. But wouldn't you have to work? Don't worry. Somebody will pick up my shift.
Yeah. Somebody got him. Lenny will get it. He doesn't even know Lenny yet.
But when Bart is born, he's already causing havoc, man. I got to
Oh,
call.
I forgot. I forgot about that. Yeah. What is that? What happens when the little demon shows up, Steve?
I guess he was born with a Zippo lighter in his hand because he sets Homer's tie on fire.
Yeah, dude. That's a problem. Also, as just a human, I'd be like, how'd that kid get a Zippo? Was that in you? What's going on, Marge?
Yeah.
What kind of fucking fucked up shit's going on in there? But
Bartholomew.
I mean, you should have known, Steve. This kid, he's destined for either greatness or violence. One of the two. But yeah, dude, Bart, he's a little devil. But the Simpsons, Steve, they're strong. They got a strong base. They got a strong foundation, Steve. Built
And
on putt.
this is the first of 3 origins. We also will get a Lisa origin story as well as a Maggie. Julie Kavner, the voice of Marge, she actually won an Emmy Award for outstanding voiceover performance for this episode.
I mean, this is a banger. This is a memorable one. And again, this is like you're getting like the prequels. This is now the show's prolific enough. I mean, it's only season 2 at this point, but they're starting to really like build on what they've already told. So
This is season 3.
is it season 3? I had season. Oh, I'm looking at Family Guy. My bad. Still, season 3. That's still early on in what now 40 seasons or whatever insane number they're at. So man, that's crazy. Shout out, dude. Matt Groening, legend.